rather you be aware than leave you in the dark to try to figure it out or listen to your friends who know just as much as you do?
Yeah, exactly. Don't listen to because then your parents go, well, if they jump off a bridge, would you do it too? You know what I mean? Yeah, dude. Oh my God.
I heard that phrase so many times as a kid.
What up, everybody? We are back with episode 4 of In the Fields podcast. It is your host, Johnny, with my lovely fiance, soon-to-be wife, Lisa. And yeah, man, here we are, episode 4. Fun fact about all the podcasts that have ever started, only 10% of them make it past episode 3. So,
and here we are, number 4.
That just goes to show you guys we're in the top 10% of all podcasts that exist. So, subscribe, tune in. Follow the pages, you know the vibes. And yeah, man, this episode we are going to take a deep dive into parenting. And I think this one's a big one because it's something that we work on very hard here.
Yeah.
And
breaking generational curses.
Yeah, I would like to start this episode with a game of Would You Rather, but a parenting edition, of course. So I prepared 3 would you rathers.
So did I.
Yeah, man. You want to go first?
Okay.
Hit me with it. What do we got?
All right. Would you rather your child be exceptionally gifted academically but struggle socially, or be incredibly kind and empathetic but have average academic abilities?
I would take the second one. I would rather you be able to be better socially and have a more broad experience with people than academics. Like, my thing is being A, B, C, D, or F, like, as long as you're not failing, I think that that's okay. In my personal opinion, academics doesn't necessarily translate
it doesn't
into
define
relationships.
You. Yeah, it doesn't define
just because
you.
I know the Pythagorean theorem doesn't mean that I'm going to love you the best. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or I'm going to be a good friend, or I'm going to be somebody that you can confide in, or that somebody you can trust.
Yeah.
So I would take the second one just because I think how you are with people is more important than how well you are at tests or,
yeah.
You know what I mean? As long as you're not failing, that's fine. And to be honest, A's only matter because B's, C's, D's, and F's exist.
Yeah.
So if you didn't have those people who were subpar, like the A's wouldn't even matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or subpar academically, the A's wouldn't even matter.
I would have to agree.
Cool. Yeah, man, I like that. That was a good question. All right, I got one. Would you rather have a child who never sleeps or a child who never stops talking?
That's crazy. I mean, never sleeps like ever, because like I feel like
he'd just be up.
That's nuts.
Mommy, can I have a snack? Like, he'd just be up, standing by your bedside, horror movie shit. Like, he'd just be up.
I don't know. Because, like, never stop talking, that's very overstimulating.
Bro, we might get physical.
So I would have to choose never sleeps, because you got to be quiet sometimes. Like, no offense.
Just be up.
That's crazy. I'm going to still go to bed. You could,
facts.
You could be up.
Go do your thing. Go watch TV downstairs.
Eyes.
Yo, here's some headphones. Be quiet. I gotta go to sleep.
Yeah, I need to close. I got work in the morning. That's crazy.
I like that.
Okay. That's nuts. All right. Would you rather have a child who is constantly pushing boundaries and testing limits, but is fiercely independent, or a child who is always compliant and obedient, but lacks initiative?
That's tough. I think I would almost take the first one because, yes, as a child, you're going to push boundaries regardless.
Yeah.
And I think curiosity is not a bad thing. Like, that's how you discover life, right? Mm-hmm. Is through curiosity. How else do you learn unless you try to push the boundary? You need someone to correct you and to keep you on the right path. But the only way to do that is by testing the limit, right? How do we become better or better versions of ourselves if we are not pushing ourselves to the limit, right? And everything around us, like, so I think I would take that in a sense because I feel like obedience is obedience is borderline following in a sense.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're somebody who just does what you're told all the time,
yeah,
it could lead to you maybe not fulfilling your purpose.
That's
or
messy.
you might be doing something that isn't
good
what
for
you really want to do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah, I would say somebody who pushes the envelope, because you can also learn. Just because you're somebody that pushes the envelope doesn't mean you can't learn how to be respectful. So I
Yeah.
think as long as you're instilling respect, while yes, you're gonna have children just push the envelope, period. So
Yeah.
it doesn't, they do that already. So
Yeah, no, I like that, because I actually saw a podcast the other day that was like talking about it in a sense where they were just like, as kids, you don't want to really shut down their curiosity, because those kids
is that the guy
are
that was talking about the
ones-
egg?
I think so.
Where he's like, yeah, you might stop your kid from touching an egg, but there's so many experiments that you can learn with an egg. Like you grab an egg into that kid, it's hard.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's so fragile. And then now their brain is starting to go and they're going, wow, how can something hard also be so fragile?
Mhm.
And then it gets even further, because when you take what's inside of the egg and put it in a pan, you go, hey, look, that clear stuff, when I heat it up,
turns white.
it turns white. And like there's so many science experiments with the egg. So it's like,
and they were showing
I
that,
know exactly what you're talking about.
They
I
were
just saw
showing
that.
like those kids eventually grow
forget
up
the guy's
to
name,
be
but
like
yeah.
scientists
Those are
and
the
stuff
ones.
like that, because they're always pushing those limits and testing those theories, and like it creates a creative person.
Yeah.
And those are important traits that, kids start out with, but a lot of the time get pushed back and hindered, and then they end up losing that part of themselves as they get older.
Facts. So yeah, I would take the first one, where somebody that pushes the
I agree.
boundaries. Yes,
Yeah.
they might be a little rebellious, and of course, a curiosity,
But you
a
live and
curious
learn.
person. Yeah, you live and learn. And
learn.
as long as I teach you how to be respectful, like you can push the envelope without necessarily interfering or doing it in a negatively impactful way. I think.
Yeah, that's where as parents you help guide your kids, right? Like you help guide them through their thought processes and their decision making and stuff, and keep them on the right path, but let them explore, let them figure it out, let them like test certain things, and just keep it positive. You don't have to be so negative with like hindering them on that.
Facts. All right, I got one more.
Okay.
I got one more would you rather situation. Would you rather have a picky eater or a kid with bad hygiene?
I'm a picky eater, so like I might easily take the kid that's a picky eater.
I don't want the stinky kid, bro. I'm good. I'll take the picky eater, bro.
because having like
that's tough.
That is hard, because it's like you could only fight with your kid so many times to like take a shower and put on some deodorant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I would rather you be like, I don't want to eat that broccoli.
If you guys see my cat, he's here. Shout out to Thor on the floor by the door. Are you just going to chill with us? That's cool.
It's the warm lights.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
But yeah, I would rather that. Like, I would rather you be like, I don't want that broccoli. Fine. Don't eat it then.
Don't eat it. Yeah, I hear you.
All right. I have one more for you.
All right. Awesome.
Yours are so much funnier than mine.
I was trying to make it fun, a little lighthearted. You know what I mean?
Mine are more serious.
A lot of people think parenting is something that's super serious, and I don't think it has to be. I'm a firm believer of fun stuffs.
Yeah. All right. So my last one.
Go.
Would you rather your child always tell you the brutal, unfiltered truth, even if it hurts your feelings, or always tell you what they think you want to hear, even if it's a lie?
Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth.
I feel like that goes with any relationship.
I've said it time and time again, especially to my kids. Just be honest. I would rather you be honest with me instead of lying to me or telling me what you think I want to hear, because as long as you're honest with me, then we can actually determine the repercussions of what may occur after the fact.
But I could actually help you when you're being honest too. Like, how am I supposed to help you if I don't know everything that's happening?
Also, if you did something that you're scared to tell me the truth about because you're too worried about the trouble, then you did something wrong. What you should be doing is practicing accountability, empathy, and honesty in those moments. When you do something wrong
with each other.
Yeah, be honest. Tell me, even if it's going to piss me off, I would rather you piss me off with the truth than lie, me find out later, and now I'm pissed off and the trust is broken.
And the repercussions are way worse.
Of course it's worse. Yeah, now you're really in trouble, dog. Fraud is We don't play that. That's cap, right? That's what the youngsters be saying. That's cap. That's cap, bruh.
Super Sigma.
Yeah. Skibbity. Whatever.
Ohio Riz.
Yeah. Whatever. It's crazy. Toilet talk. Anyway. Yeah, man. I would rather you tell me the truth. Be honest with me.
But I feel like that's a good lesson too, like as they learn, because when you grow up and you go out into the world, consequences for messing up, especially when you lie, are way worse as adults than they are when you're kids. So it's like learning that kind of like boundary is important, especially early on in life. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, man. That was dope. I like that. I like that little game. Well, before we continue our episode, let's give you guys a word from our sponsors. Introducing Ooh La Laid, 100% natural, fresh squeeze, made with love. Guys, if you don't know by this point, then you guys are already missing out. This lemonade is the best lemonade, not only in the 610, but probably in the entire world. Universe at this point. I'm pretty sure not even aliens could produce something so out of this world. Yeah, man.
Always new
natural
flavors.
Ingredients. Shout out to La Shells. Shout out to the official sponsor of In the Fields podcast. Like I said, if you guys are not in tune and this is not the lemonade you are drinking, I promise you that you're most likely drinking dog water.
And make sure you guys go follow them on their socials too. They have their own Oola page. La Shells has his own pages.
OULALADE, guys. Oola Laid lemonade, the best in the world, the galaxy, the entire universe. Thanos couldn't snap this bad boy away. It is so good. Make sure you guys get yours today. And back to our episode. So guys, we are back with episode 4. Yeah, man, this episode I wanted to talk about parenting because I feel like it's a topic,
most can relate to.
Everybody in our age group for the most part. I mean,
I don't know many people without kids.
Almost all my friends have kids. I mean, give or take a couple, but yeah, man. I want to like just really go into it as far as like, just some of the biggest challenges that we have. And I want to obviously introduce ourselves and our kids. I'll let you take it away as far as, introducing how long you've been a parent for and, who your child is. I'll do the same thing as well. And then, yeah, man, we'll just, we'll take it from there.
Yeah. So I've been a mom for 14 years. My daughter, she's so beautiful. She's so talented. I'm so blessed to be her mom because in everything, like, even though I'm here to teach her, she has taught me so much. I was a very young mom. I got pregnant at the age of 18, right out of high school. I had no idea what I was doing whatsoever. I had no real like guidelines or anybody to like role model from. Like, I had no idea what I was doing. And I really just did my best because that's really all you can do sometimes, right? Is just try your best. But I think one benefit that I did have in having her at the age that I had was the experience of learning and growing with her and just having that advantage of really honing in and breaking those generational curses, because I just always aspired to be the mom that I felt like I didn't have growing up. And that's one of the sad truths that a lot of people can relate to, is the way that our generation grew up is not the way our kids' generation grows up today. Like, gentle parenting is such a big thing now, communicating with your children.
That doesn't work. I'm sorry, gentle parenting doesn't work.
There are just so many different things of ways that people parent today versus how we were parented. You know what I mean? Like,
of course. Well, I think also we come from the, I think, like, I would say the last generation of authoritarian, I think it is, or authoritarian type of parents, like just parents that just like, we know it's best. That's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like that didn't work either. And like, one thing that I learned, because I did start like in that of where it's like, what I say goes, like, that's just what it is. Mm-hmm. And like, as much as that sticks and that is true, I've learned that open communication is way more important. Like, sitting my daughter down and really talking with her instead of talking at her has been such a help in just how she acts, how she responds, the way that she handles things. She's starting to be more open and like communicative, and there's just like so many benefits in speaking with your kids instead of speaking at them. I definitely have mom guilt because I definitely come from an era where I feel like I've experienced a lot of traumas. And going through my healing journey, I've realized how much that has affected me as a person and the way that I've treated others, the way I've handled situations, just in general. And I've had to work very hard to overcome that. But I've definitely, looking back, feel like there's been certain moments where I'm like, I should have done this way, or I should have never done this. And then I have that mom guilt because I'm like, am I traumatizing her too? Like, what did I do wrong? Like, how can I fix it? And then I like overanalyze the situation. And then it's like, I sit and talk with her and I'm like, okay, maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe like I'm just overthinking and it just is what it is. But I've definitely learned a lot in being a mom, just how to be a better person, how to be more receptive. Like, I've just learned so much from her and I'm forever grateful.
It's dope, man. Yeah, I love her too. Shout out to Maya Papaya. That's my baby. That's my princess, man. Yeah, man, that was dope. Just to give you guys a little bit of background as far as me, I've been a father now for 7 years, going on 8. My son was born back in 2017, but then of course, getting with you, I was also blessed with a bonus child. My other favorite son. That's an inside joke between me and her. But yeah, my daughter, Maya, and my son, Jonathan. And yeah, man, the parenting journey has been, it's been exactly that, a journey, ups and downs, storms, just like our relationship. And it's also the same thing with parenting. And like you said, they teach us so much because we try to parent based on the example that we start with.
Yeah.
And then we come to realize why we were as rebellious as we were as kids. Cause we're like, yeah, that shit doesn't work, dude. You know what I mean? So sometimes you start running into those brick walls as well with your kids if you try doing the same shit.
Well, what do I do?
Because history repeats itself, right? You know what I mean? So you start seeing you're like looking in the mirror essentially with your kids sometimes.
Yeah.
You're like seeing them repeat the same stuff you did because you're repeating the same stuff your parents do. So yeah, man, they taught me so much. I mean, they teach you how to have more patience, how to be more understanding, and just how to be more open, have a more open perspective. Because times change. So as much as we want to compare ourselves to them, they go through things that we had no idea about as kids.
Yeah.
They have social media now. We didn't have that as kids.
I love
we had
up.
MySpace and I mean, whatever, but that wasn't as bad as social media is now, right? The standards that social media has set for them. You know what I mean?
I couldn't even imagine.
Dude, you've got people
like.
trying to look like the filters they see on Instagram. And I mean, that's the type of standard that's set for the youth. You know what I mean? Whether you're a guy or a girl, you've got people trying to attain this certain level of perfection. And we didn't have that much pressure on us as kids.
Yeah, no, my eyebrows were thin as hell in fucking high school.
Dude, I think that was just a thing back then too. And then I think there was a Buzz Lightyear eyebrow phase for girls. And then there was an Angry Bird eyebrow phase where they had the thick Johns. And then finally they just kind of started going with this more natural, sharp look. And I'm like, that's the sweet spot, baby.
Yeah, crazy
you know
times.
What I mean? They had
we didn't have filters
Johns,
back
dog.
then.
Yeah. So, but yeah, with the kids, man, I just, like you said, I'm just so grateful to have them because they've made me a better person.
Yeah, and it's crazy because Jonathan...
And in different ways,
Jonathan's the age Maya was.
When I met Maya, Maya was 7 when I met her, and now Jonathan's 7, going on 8, and it's just crazy
seeing the differences between a boy and a girl, too.
What also makes me laugh is now he's doing the same stuff that she used to do, and then she's like... she sees it now.
Dude, I'll never forget.
Ask me a math question. Ask me a math question. Go ahead. Ask me math. Any math. I know I can do it. I can do the answer. Come on, daddy. Ask me math. And then she used to do the same thing at 7. She'd be like, go ahead. Ask me math problems. I'll write it right now. Ask me math. I got a paper. I got a pencil. Come on. Ask me math.
It's so funny because that happened the one day at dinner and he was doing it to her and she looked at me and she was just like, I'm so sorry. And I was just like, for what? She was like, because I know I did this to you. And I was just laughing because I'm like, the fact that you're even able to realize that and pick up on it is
full
hilarious.
Circle. It's like a circle, no corners.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, man. My kids are they're such a blessing. Like you said, I'm so grateful for them because of the person they've helped me become, you know what I mean? They added purpose to my life, and that fuel and motivation just makes you want to be a better person.
I think the one thing that I've learned too in having more than one kid is just learning that like not one parenting style fits all. Like
Nope,
you are
definitely
going to
not.
parent each of your kids differently because each of them are going to require different things from you.
Yeah, and then we want to stress that, guys. Like, we know we're explaining how our experiences with our kids and the things that work for us, and it's not a one size fits all thing. There is no book for this. You guys are going to have to try
everything,
trial and error, literally through everything.
Yeah.
Because some things that work with Jonathan don't necessarily translate to working with Maya. You know what I mean? Like Jonathan, I can sit and have a face-to-face conversation with him versus like with Maya, I've come to realize that it's a little bit easier for her to like text. She needs a moment to like get like really
process.
Yeah. And you are very much like that. Like versus I can communicate face-to-face. Sometimes you do need like a moment to take the emotions out of what you want to say.
Yeah.
So this way it's like concise, it's direct, and you understand. You're like, yeah, exactly. It's something that you're sure about. You know what I mean? Versus sometimes, you know, even myself, I've been caught up in it where like you talk out of emotion and sometimes you say things you don't mean, or sometimes it comes out the wrong way and you don't want to do that. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, there's no one size fits all. Like I experienced that through, you know, dealing with both of them, and she's a teenager, so they're different. He's still a kid, but he's transitioning like to that young man phase where like, and I'm noticing him transition to that. Like he starts, you know, cleaning up. He's like putting deodorant on. He like wants to be fresh. And it's like, yo, daddy, I'm trying to put a fresh fit on today. You know what I'm saying? Can I put my chain on? Like, yeah. He's like, nah, I'm trying to make sure it matches. I want my I need the Goku hoodie and I need the Goku Crocs. You know what I'm saying? I need the drip. So yeah, he's just, you know, transitioning. And then of course she's becoming a young woman. Like she's going, you know, about to turn 15, but going on 25, it feels like, because
I will say something that was super humbling for me is watching her be a big sister, but she does it in a way where she's very mom-like. Like there's times
she gets
where
that from you.
I see her like doing stuff with Jonathan and I call her mini mom all the time. Like even when we went to Florida with our friends and we woke up and Maya had all three of the kids in the kitchen in the high chair with feeding them. Yeah. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, well, I didn't want to wake anybody up, so I just took care of it. And I'm like, okay. Yeah. But that's like super humbling because that is like also just like a little reminder that I'm doing something right. Like you're learning something from me. And I know that as you get older, I know you're going to be okay.
Yeah, it'll translate well to her future self.
I know that when you're older and you have your own kid, you're going to kill it at this mom stuff.
And it's crazy because when our kids see this, like these are the moments that we talk about when we say like, you'll thank me later. Mm-hmm. You don't get it right now.
Which is something our parents definitely said to us. Oh my
God. Dude, it's crazy. I sound like my mom right now.
Yep.
Because so many times there have been moments where like, yo, you won't understand it until you have your own kid. Or you don't get it. But when it happens, you'll thank me later. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, guys, that's a huge one. I want to touch on what you brought up earlier when you were explaining about like how sometimes you feel like you're doing something wrong. And I think a lot of parents deal with this. How do you navigate dealing with like the parental guilt, right? Like feeling like you're making the wrong choices, or like, you know, you'll discipline your kid and then immediately you feel bad after.
Oh, so bad.
And all of those things. Like, how do you navigate that? Or what advice would you give to like parents who are dealing with that? Because I think every parent goes through it. I think it's safe to say, guys, that you guys probably all deal with that. And yeah, man, that's probably something every parent goes through. So what advice would you give to a parent that maybe deals with that parental guilt?
I mean, personally, for me, the biggest thing that's helped is just learning to be more open with my daughter and being more speaking, like, and talking to her. You know what I mean?
Jesus. Sorry, guys. You probably just saw my cat's face for like a good 20 seconds there. Get out of the way.
Oh, the joys of podcasting at home.
Yep, that's what it is.
The journey.
Shout out to my special guest. It's all right. Hey, you got the sneak. You got it, dude. You guys, I might have him sit in the chair next episode. We don't even know. Meow, meow,
Everybody
meow,
loves
meow.
cats.
And the next episode, we're going to talk about catnip. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, go ahead. Continue, baby.
Okay, so personally for me, I think one thing that I've learned to help me navigate that was just being more open and speaking with my children.
Yeah.
Instead of just doing that whole like, well, what I say goes, you'll thank me later, like whatever, you're not going to understand right now and just assume that that's the case. Like kids are very smart and they're very intuitive and you can speak to them. Like obviously there's boundaries and you have to watch what you say, but there is a way to communicate with them and really just explain yourself in a way that they can understand and be like, you know, hey, like you did this. This is why it's not okay. This is why you have to, you know, lose your phone or you're going to lose the TV for the night. You know, those are, you know, there's consequences for your actions. Like those are things that you have to learn and understand. And how are they going to ever learn or understand that if you're not breaking it down for them and explaining it to them? Do you know what I mean? Like they can't learn that way. So I think that's one thing that's definitely helped me, but also just like sitting back and taking time with myself and reflecting and allowing myself to feel those feelings of like, dang, maybe I shouldn't have been that harsh. But those are like learning moments for myself of being like, okay, so next time I find myself in this position, I know that maybe I should handle it differently. And then I could start like learning, okay, well, this didn't work. This didn't feel good to do. So what can I do next time to make it better?
Yeah.
So that's like personally something that's definitely helped me in those moments.
Yeah. And I think also just to add on to that, with parent guilt, which every parent feels when they feel like they did something wrong, or maybe their kid is acting out and, you know, they blame themselves for it. You guys have to understand that every situation with every child is unique. So you have to take it with stride. Like you have to roll with the punches. You can't throw in the towel and be like, oh, woe is me. You need to try to assess the problem and let's try to hone in on the solution. Like, okay, cool. This is what I'm doing. This is the response I'm getting from my child. Obviously, I need to change this. And I mean, I've seen things like even changing the kid's diet. Like sometimes they're sensitive to certain things. Like you don't even know what it could be. But if you throw in the towel and allow the parent guilt to like absorb you or control you. Yeah. Like if you allow the parent guilt to do that, you like get too beside yourself and you don't start trying to check things off the list to really hone in on what it is that's affecting your kid. You know what I mean? Like we said, you know what I mean? Parenting is very unique to every individual. Every child is different. Every parent is different. What works for one may not work for another. Yeah. It's not a one size fits all.
And don't forget, like your kids are humans too. Like they also get stressed. They also get overstimulated. They also go through things that we don't realize. Like when they leave this house, especially when they're like teenage years, when they go to school and stuff, like we don't really know to the extent of what they experience. So they could have a really bad day and they're still kids. So they're still learning how to be emotionally intelligent and manage their emotions.
They're not emotionally mature enough yet to even handle those properly or be able to communicate them effectively.
Right. So they could have a bad day at school and come home with a bad attitude and just very cranky. And as parents, we're quick to be like, yo, cut it out. Like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of the time we don't even stop to think like, hey, are you okay? Like, did something happen today? Like having those conversations and just pointing out those little things could make a really big difference.
Yeah, man. And you can't be hard on yourself. You can't throw in the towel. Like I said, like that parental guilt can't stop you from doing exactly what you just said. Like you have to start checking things off the list and seeing what it is, try to find the solution. You know what I mean? Don't worry about the problem. Don't worry about the problem so much. The problems are just going to show up.
Yeah.
If you get absorbed by the problem or you get stuck on focusing on the problem, then you'll never try to create a solution or create a space where this stuff doesn't happen anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah, man.
It's all about teaching and guiding.
Yeah. And I want to say one important thing too, as a parent, guys, give yourself grace. My wife says this all the time. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself the opportunity to take a break. If you need to reset, you need a village. Like you need people who are willing to be around you, who've got your back and who have your best interests at heart and who are willing to allow you to take that time to work on yourself and really reset. I think it's important because you just can't pour from an empty cup. Like if you're drained, you can't pour into your children. And if you can't pour into them, then you can't expect them to flourish if you're not creating an environment where they feel like their souls are being fed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
and
man.
It's okay to have those moments, you know, but I think it's like big because me personally, like I definitely have moments where I get very overstimulated and I have bad days and I may bring that home with me. But my biggest thing that I've learned and taken from that is I sit with her and I'm like, yo, like, I hope you know that I'm not mad at you. Nobody in the house I'm mad at. I just had a really bad day and I'm just having a really difficult time in managing how I'm feeling with it.
Yeah, sometimes it spills out, dude.
I'm sorry that like I have this negative energy. I don't want you to take it personally. You know, like stuff like that. And I think that it matters to have those conversations.
I mean, dude, that just happened earlier. You were a little cranky pants, but I think you were just hangry.
Maybe.
I think that's all it was. Like, you got nachos and immediately, like, we were like, oh, you feel better? And then you're like, why are you guys laughing? Yeah. So, yeah, man, it's, that's
open
huge.
Communication is big for me.
Yeah. I mean, dude, that's every relationship. I say this time and time again. I'm pretty sure I say this every episode, man. Communication is key. You know what I mean? Whether it's in your personal relationship with your spouse, your friendships, your relationship with your children. And you have to show them that. And the only way to show them is by, you know, working on the skill. You know what I mean? Iron sharpens iron. So it's like, you have to work on your communication if you want them to work on their communication.
Yeah, and like you said, it's big on healing yourself, because if you can't show up for yourself, you're not going to be able to show up for your kids or the other people around you.
Hell yeah, man. All right. I think it's question time.
Okay, you want to start? I started last time.
All right, cool. I got you. All right, so here we go, guys. Question time. You know what that means. We're going to ask our three. I will start it. And my first question is, what are your top priorities when it comes to raising our children?
Top priority is showing up.
Like, if you had to go like top three.
Top
1, 2, 3. Top priorities.
Showing up. Mm-hmm. And that's for anything. Mm-hmm. Like just being there, being present. That's something I didn't always have as a kid. Mm-hmm. And I think that I could have definitely benefited from having that. So like, that's probably number one for me is just showing up, being there, being present, being active in their lives, being honest. As parents, I feel like
number two.
Okay. I feel like we cover a lot as parents to try to shade or whatever, protect them. But I feel like honesty is really big, because
honesty is the best policy, baby.
It also teaches them the importance of honesty.
Yeah.
Like if they're seeing me capable enough of being honest with them in hopes that, you know, they'll also want to be honest with me. So like, I just strive very heavy on wanting to always be honest. And just giving them space too. Like, sometimes they also need space the same way we need space. Yeah, the same way
we need the reset. Sometimes they need to kind of like also
process and
unpack
feel their
whatever
feelings.
It is. Yeah, dude, they have to feel it. And the thing is too with them, like we said, like they're not as emotionally mature or in tune yet. So like they're feeling it and they don't even know what it is.
Yeah, like I don't want
sometimes they can't even associate it with it. They're just like, bro, I just feel off or I feel bad. Like they're not able to like retrace their steps to like figure out, you know, where that's stemming from.
Yeah, because I know there's definitely been moments that I've been overbearing, like just talk to me. Mm-hmm. And I've learned that that doesn't work. You can't do that. Mm-hmm. So.
Okay. Cool.
What's one core value you hope to instill in our children and why?
Okay, so I think the core value that I want to instill into them is that treat people how you want to be treated. You know what I mean? Put into the world what you want to receive.
Yeah.
You know, energy is a big thing. So when, you know, depending on what you put out,
how you carry yourself
is really what's going to come back to you. You know what I mean?
I like that.
For sure. All right, let me see what I got. What do you feel, or when do you feel most like a team with me as a parent?
I definitely feel like when we can do that whole tapping each other out thing.
Okay. Because I'll tag in, you tag out type thing.
Yeah. Because sometimes it is hard. Like parenting is hard sometimes. And I feel like there's times where I get more emotional or like more agitated with a situation. And in those moments, I'm like, I need you to take over. Mm-hmm. And you're good at like still honing in on the issue and like whatever, but you're maybe better at communicating it at that point. And we do that for each other often. Mm-hmm. So like vice versa.
Yeah, I like that. I like that for sure.
All right. How has your own childhood influenced your approach to parenting?
I mean, it's it's one of the biggest things that's influenced me. You know what I mean? We go through things that we enjoy as children, and then we go through things that we don't like, and that translates to how we parent, whether it's through the trials and errors, like the mistakes that we make trying to mimic our parents sometimes, or sometimes the positive things. Like, you know, I think I learned from my mom a lot how to keep my composure in high pressure shit. Like, my mom had 4 kids, and that's a lot. So I can only imagine.
2 is a lot.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So that's translate a lot. So yeah, my childhood for sure has definitely taught me things, what I didn't want to do as a father, and definitely taught me things of who I wanted to be as a father for sure.
Like that.
All right. I got one more question for you. What has been your most rewarding parenting moment so far?
I want to have to say, especially over this last year, how close me and Maya have gotten.
So,
just how she comes to me more often to want to talk to me, be more open with me, want to hang out with me, because teenagers, that's usually the time frame where they kind of distance themselves and they're like, I'm not cool anymore. Like, they don't have that same bubbly little energy that they have when they're little kids.
Yeah,
they outgrow
and you're like their
that.
favorite person. I love you. Hi, mommy.
They outgrow that. So like, that's something that definitely was very sad and like sad for me as she got older. But like, it's kind of backtracked. So now she's more in that I want to hang out with mom phase, and I'm loving it because it is different, because she can relate to me more. She is older and we can talk, and it's just dope. It's so dope.
I love that. You want to hit me with your last one and then we'll take them home?
All right. How do you envision us navigating the tough conversations as our children grow older about sex, drugs, social issues, etc.?
I mean, honesty is the best policy, man. As much as I want to sit here and sugarcoat it, I know the world doesn't sugarcoat shit for people. And my kids have access to the internet.
Yeah.
There's probably about this much that I can tell them that they haven't already found out on their own accord.
Or heard from
or
their
between
friends.
their friends. Yeah. The shit they know now is way beyond the shit I used to know as a kid.
Yeah.
So, yeah, bro. So, yeah, I mean, straight honesty. Like, yo, I'm going to be straight up with you, and I'm going to give it to you raw, uncut. You know what I'm saying? The Pablo Escobar of emotion, baby. How you like it. But, yeah, no, for real, I would speak to them as if they are in the transition phase of becoming adults, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Am I going to be a little more conservative? Of course.
Yeah.
But there's just things that you cannot sugarcoat. And
I would rather you be aware.
Because when you sugarcoat it, you make shit seem sweet, and it ain't sweet.
Yeah,
those topics are not sweet. You know what I mean? So yeah,
I would rather you be aware than leave you in the dark to try to figure it out, or listen to your friends who know just as much as you do.
Yeah, exactly. Don't listen to it, because then your parents go, well, if they jump off a bridge, would you do it too? You know what I mean? Yeah, dude. Oh my God.
I heard that phrase so many times as a kid.
Dude, too many times. But yeah, man, honesty is the best policy in that case for me.
I agree.
But yeah, man. All right, well, let's bring them home, guys. You already know how we finish the episodes. We always leave you guys with a question. And this week's question is, what are some challenges that you guys have faced as parents? Drop them in the comments below the video or on our socials if you guys see the clips. Because at the end of the day,
share,
you never know when the why in your story becomes silent and becomes our story. That's how we build our community, guys, by sharing and just realizing how much we really are alike. Other than that, guys, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and follow. You already know what it is, man. Until next time, keep feeling,
keep sharing,
and keep it real within the feels, baby. Woo!